What is good, everybody? Well, I'm not sure the link. Better late than never. But here we are. I want to make sure we did a final live um, for the year. It's only right. Shane deserves it. We'll see if we get a few people on here, and then I'll get into things. Just want to break down the championship weekend matchups, go into maybe just some off-season outlook, just things like that. And yeah, that's really the purpose of this. So we'll see if anyone else joins. Make sure the link works for y'all. Yep, it does. All right. Let me know if you're here. Let's go to ESPN. Man, I'm excited for next year. Matt's here. What's up, Matt? Hopefully Shane joins. If he doesn't, I know he'll be watching it. All right, let's take a look. So first off, congratulations to Shane. It was a thrilling game, I would say. A good championship. Now neither team really went off. It was not an exciting game in that regards in terms of high scoring, but it was an exciting game in terms of the back and forth and the possibilities. So, but before we get into that one, let's look at our third place game. Our third place game was third and fourth place was between Deontay was between Parker and Joe. And this was Joey's team right here. He 93.28. He lost to Landon 118.32. Bijan Robinson had a great game. Led McConkey had a great game, and nobody else really did anything for him. And that's about how his team went all year. Obviously, not having Kamara, Hurts, or Evan Ingram. But at the end of the day, Landon's team was better, always better. Lamar Jackson with another great game. He had 33 points in that week. Malik Neighbors put up 30.6 that weekend against the Colts. Devontae Smith had 25.5 against Dallas. And the Giants defense put up 14. He ended up benching the Eagles defense, who had 22. ETN got 7.5. That's nice for him. He benched Mark Andrews, who had 12.8. You know what's crazy is Mark Andrews finishes tight end number 5, despite that terrible start. Everybody wrote him off. He still performed as we all expected he would. And then Dalton Kincaid with 2.4. He did not perform how we expected him to. So congratulations to Landon. Obviously was a winner first place winner last year, third place winner this year. Congratulations to him. And then, the main event, which was Tanner and Shane, two of your top seeds here. Tanner starting Mason Rudolph in a championship game because of the Jalen Hurts concussion. It's funny. I remember early on in the season, or maybe it was before the draft, Tanner was talking some type of shit to me about backup quarterbacks and quarterbacks being the most important position in the league, and something about being crazy if you didn't have a really good backup, something along the lines of that. And that you need to have one at all times. I mean, Tanner broke his own rule, plain and simple. He decided it was a better idea to roster Keaton Mitchell all year long, or Elijah Mitchell for the last 6 weeks, or for this week in particular, A.J. Dillon, or Khalil Herbert on and off for 6 weeks. He decided that those guys were more important to roster than a good backup quarterback, or at the trade deadline, maybe trading one of them for a quarterback that wasn't going to be kept. What players were available? Not really much, obviously, where we're at in the season. But if we look back to week 17 was our championship weekend. Kenny Pickett put up 18 points that weekend for championship weekend for week 17. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there wasn't really much out there for him to go get and start. I think I suggested maybe Cooper Rush. He had a horrible game. Actually, Aiden O'Connell, he had 22. That was the one I would have went with, was Aiden O'Connell. I think I have text receipts telling Tanner O'Connell. 22 points. That would have been the difference. If he had 22, that would have been an 8-point difference. That would have been the difference. And that's just a shitty quarterback, but Brees Hall with 5.3. Saquon Barkley had a great game. He had 20 points. Devontae Adams, Zay Flowers. Jamar Chase, 11.7. Shigo Kanaku, 6 points. Debo had 8. Dolphins defense had 14. His kicker had 9. What killed him was Brees Hall, Mason Rudolph. Really didn't have any big games. For Shane, he had his big game out of Josh Allen, 27 points. Now, that wasn't a monstrous game by any means, but that was he doubled up Tanner's quarterback. Chase Brown had 9. I think he got hurt that game. James Conner had 0.8. I think he got hurt that game. Brenton Strange had 0 at tight end. Mike Boone had 1.1 at flex. That was a funny one right there. I mean, Shane started Mike Boone, but who on his bench? Chuba Hubbard was ruled out that week. There really wasn't anybody else for Shane to start unless it was somebody off of waivers. Drake London had a nice game with 12. Puka had 14. Michael Pittman had a big game, had 18. The Raiders defense, that was a nice pickup for championship weekend, 15.36. He just outmanaged Tanner that weekend, and he got the win. He comes to first place, gets his first ring. He's got a solid core group coming back for next season, and he's got some guys that he'll be able to trade away in the offseason as well. So congratulations to Shane. It was a great season for him all around. Obviously he had a cakewalk for his division. 0 competition. No offense, Matt. I don't think you've won since week 2. But just a good job. I expect that division, Shane's division next year, to be a lot more competitive in that looking forward. Next year, Shane's division, I believe, it's Shane, Matt, Nick, and Pizzo. Did Pizzo join that division? Yeah, Pizzo joined that division. So, but I expect Nick and Matt to have rebound years. Nick didn't have an awful year. He was 6-8. Pizzo typically drafts a decent team, but then doesn't manage his team well. And then Matt, I think has a good rebound next year. So congrats to Shane. Peanuts Warriors will be on the trophy. We'll make sure he gets the belt. Landon, make sure you sterilize that thing. Maybe next time you go get tested, take that with you, have them swab it, make sure it's all good, just for insurance reasons. I don't want to be getting sued by Shane if I ever say that he if someone ever says he conspired or colluded with someone, I could see Shane filing for a lawsuit against me if he were to get gonorrhea from his trophy. We'll say. But yeah, so Shane gets to pick the draft location, obviously within reason. And we can run it back, hope maybe potentially at the same place we had it this year. I know people were impressed with that place. We could do it someplace in Rochester, that Shane likes. We could go back to Del Lago. There is this new joint opening in Elmira that a family friend of my family and Taylor's family. That place should be open next year or this year for the draft. It has like golf simulators, food. Could be a really dope spot. That could be a potential place. So completely up to Shane on what he wants to do. I know obviously he wants the most people to be able to come. That's what makes draft day fun. So I know he will definitely take that into consideration. In terms of who has to show up on draft day, I believe Joe has to show up this year. I do believe Joe has to show up this year. Nick came last year, so he's good, but we'll see if he wants to come. Who else? Obviously, we want to have as many people here at the draft as possible, especially when you got Kevin usually makes the trip, and maybe I think Tanner has to come out this year as well. Actually, I think Tanner does have to come out for it. Could be a good reason to bring the baby home to visit the family. So yeah, third weekend of August. If we look ahead, third weekend of August. This year we did the fourth weekend. That was because of Tanner's wedding that we moved it back a week. So we're looking at August 16th or 17th. That's a Saturday, Sunday, August 16th, 17th, that weekend. Looking to do the draft. And then don't forget, next year, 2026, that's the 20-year anniversary of the league. That is, we want to get all 16 teams, get your families. We're going to make it a weekend. We're going to go out to the Football Hall of Fame and draft out there, bring our families, show them the Football Hall of Fame. I think that'll be an awesome, awesome, awesome experience. Couldn't think of a better way to do our year 20 draft. That's next year, 2026. So a year away from our anniversary. So just want to keep throwing that out there. Just remember that. And that date could potentially be subject to change. It would be really awesome if we could all go and watch the Hall of Fame game that they usually have in the preseason. Now, we don't need to do that. I'm sure that would be going to that game and getting tickets for your families would be a significant added expense. Which the game is a preseason game. I don't really give a shit about the game anyways. I'd rather just look at the Hall of Fame and draft there. So that's that. I will have a couple of potential rule proposal changes, and not rule changes, but rule proposals in the off season. We won't get into that now. I think there's a couple of good ones. That we'll have. I think I got a list of 4 right here. I can see at least 2 or 3 of them getting voted in. Nobody's leaving the league that I know of as of right now, which is great to be able to run it back with the same group. I'm super, super interested to see how Landon finally does with it going into an off season with a team of his own, coming into draft day with a team of his own. 2 years in a row, he's put it all on the table to go for it, right? Last year he took over. Logan drafted, and then he took over Logan's team after Logan left the league. That was when he won his championship. So he had the pieces in place. He had a team that had, after draft day, Christian McCaffrey and Justin Jefferson. Now, granted, he did end up trading them. His team had some major gaps, but by having those two on his team, he was able to take those two and make 2 big moves and really make the team that he wanted. And then this season, obviously, was a team that Deontay had loaded up on coming into the year. Jahmyr Gibbs, Matt Stafford, Jameson Williams, just to name a few of the guys that he had coming into the season. So I'm super interested to see. Really, is the prove it year, I think, for Landon in the league in terms of what he can do on draft day for his team. There's no question. There's no question at all that he can manage the shit out of a team. He can make the moves. He can pull the strings. He can make the pickups, the trades, thinking 2 trades ahead to get his team to where it wants to be. But he had those pieces in place already. Now we'll see with the pieces that he has going into draft day. Can he draft the team that he needs to make those moves and win? I'm assuming he's going to keep Lamar Jackson. You almost have to. Terry McLaurin, got to keep him for that price. And then after that, it's really a toss-up. You don't really know. He's not going to keep Tate Dell because he's dead. Marvin Harrison's too expensive. So yeah, really interesting to see what he's going to have. He's probably going to keep Tony Pollard, maybe, I would assume. So yeah, really excited to see that. Really looking forward to seeing how Mason does next year. Mason had an excellent season this year. We'll see if he can run that back again. He went all in to try to win it. Came up short. Not much left for keepers. We look at our teams that have won a championship now, or teams that haven't. Here's the teams that are chasing their first championship. We got Joey chasing the championship. Mason. These are newer teams as well. Mike went all in, came up short. That's a team that you didn't want to see in the playoffs. Unfortunately, he did lose in the playoff. Unfortunately for him, he did lose. But his team had some big numbers after that. Mike's got some interesting decisions on his hands. He'll probably be keeping one of his expensive running backs or Justin Jefferson and Bo Nix, I would assume. But Mike is still looking for his first championship in 19 years as we head into year 19. Dan as well. I think he was absent from the league once or twice. Dan, he's another one looking for his first championship. Tim, to everybody's surprise, has never won this league for as much shit as he talks. Tim has never won, never even sniffed it, never even made the playoffs, but Tim has never won a championship. He's looking for his first. Corey Root, another one I think that's been in the league since the inception, since 2006, looking for his first title. Pizzo, looking for his first title. Yeah, Matt, you're absolutely right. Tim's looking for his first winning record. That's no doubt. And then newcomer Tom looking for his first championship as well. So it's nice that Shane was able to beat Tanner and keep Tanner below me on the all-time ranks. And it's nice to have a first-time winner as well in the league. Welcome to the club. It's an exclusive club. And the club gets even smaller for multiple time winners. That's myself, Tanner. I think has Kevin won it twice. Matt, you've won it twice. Kevin has won twice, right? I think. I wish he would watch and. Yeah, no, I think Kevin's won it twice. Logan's won it once or twice as well. No, Logan's won it once. Oh, that's sick, Shane. You've only won once, Matt? Or Kevin's only won once? Well, anyways, the multi-winner club is not many in that club. So not many members. So yeah, that's it. We'll feel free to trade in the off season. For trading, obviously you can't do it on the app. You made 3 championships but only won once. Man, you suck. Shout out Alshon Jeffrey. Obviously you can't trade on the app, but what you can do when you do make your trades, if you do, just message in the group me so that Shane can. So 1, so everybody knows. 2, so Shane can make any adjustments, if any, if he needs to or wants to, onto the sheet. And 3, post it in the league message board is another avenue you can take for that. But most importantly, make sure you just notify the group and or me of the trade. Remember, you can only keep $80 worth of players. Any player that was topped in this previous draft cannot be topped in this upcoming draft. Any player that was topped 2 years ago and then kept going into last year's draft cannot be kept again. So Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton cannot be kept. Is a prime example. He was topped for $15, kept for $15 last year. So he is not eligible to be drafted or eligible to be kept. So he will be in the draft no matter what. Okay, so just remember that if you have any questions about the keeper rules or anything like that, taxi rules, I think there's only like 1 or 2 players that are even possible to be taxied. Please text me. Don't make any assumptions. Like I said, $80 worth of players is what you can keep. Feel free to make your trades and let's get ready for next season. All right, we've got 7 months, just about 7 months until draft day. Congratulations to Shane, buddy. Well deserved. Nice to see you finally take one home with all the hard work you do for your team and the league with your spreadsheets. But definitely you've been chasing that one. So congratulations and happy trading. Got a lot of teams. They need to make some moves in the offseason. All right. Peace out.